Hey, you guys. Okay, so you should have your notes to follow along here with me as I'm talking about what we're going into today. So we've been talking about types of angles. We're going to now start talking about angle relationships. Okay, so I'm going to go through this, and then you just write down, because these are guided notes, you just fill in the blanks, but make sure that you're listening and paying attention so that you'll know what you need to know for us to move forward. Okay, so here at the top, just make sure that you go ahead and you put your name in there, and then here you can put today. You can put the date, and then here we're going to be writing down angle relationships. Let me just start that over because this is not working out. Okay. I just got this little thing this weekend, and I'm still learning how to write on this thing. Okay, so angle relationships is what you're going to write here for the topic. Okay, and then under class, you're just going to put the class period. All right, so here we're talking about vertical angles, and over here it's giving you a diagram where you can see that we've got an angle here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So vertical angles are two angles that are across of each other when two lines intersect. These angles are congruent. And remember in class when we've talked about this, that congruent means same. Okay? Let's go ahead and move down. I'm going to move this down just a little bit. Okay? The next term that we need to know is adjacent angles. Okay, and here's another diagram, and this time it is labeled the angle ABC, and then notice that within it we've bisected, and we've got an angle here, angle 5, and then we've got one here, angle 6. So adjacent angles are two angles that share a common vertex and side. Okay, remember from our notes before that the vertex is B right here. Okay, so this is our vertex. And these are our sides. Okay, remember that's the actual ray. Those are our sides. Okay, so they share a common vertex and side. So which side would that be if they're adjacent? Okay, this right here would be the side that we're speaking of. Okay, so then it goes on to say they are next to each other. Right? So down here, let's just write down this. The measure of angle 5 plus the measure of angle 6 is equal to angle ABC. Now, one way that I like to remember adjacent is kind of like a wall that separates two rooms. Okay, that's what this side is. This ray right here, it is separating these two angles. So it is essentially, I guess you could say, the wall that separates the two areas. All right, I'm going to move on down here to complementary angles. All right, complementary angles. First, let me just say, whenever you're looking at the big overall angle here, what do you notice about it? The first thing I see is that it's got our little box right here, which tells me that the two angles that are within it equal 90. Okay, remember that little box there tells us 90 degrees, which is what type of angle? It's a right angle. Okay, complementary angles are any two angles in which the sum, and remember that sum means that you're adding, okay, of their measurement is 90 degrees. Now, I'm going to go down here and we're going to talk about that. So, the measurement of angle 7 plus the measurement of angle 8 is equal to the measurement, oh, let me back up. It's equal to 90. I'm sorry, it didn't even tell us what the points were, so it's equal to 90. So angle 7 right here plus angle 8 right here is going to be equal to 90. Now, sometimes people get this next one and complementary angles confused. This next one is supplementary angles. All right, now when you go and you look at this, the first thing that I notice is that this is a straight line. So from going back before we were talking about types of angles, what type of angle is a straight line? Or I'm sorry, what's the measurement, I guess I should have said. It's 180 degrees. Okay, I see that. Supplementary angles are any two angles in which the sum, again, that means that you're adding, of their measures is 180 degrees. All right, so we've got the measurement of angle 9 plus the measurement of angle 10 is equal to 180 degrees. All right, so there's this little trick I'm going to show you, and you may have already seen it before, but it just helps me remember. Whenever you're thinking about which one is complementary and which one is supplementary, one thing that has helped me remember is that with this C, I can turn that into a 9. Okay? Which helps me remember 90 degrees. That's what I'm looking for. Two angles that add together that equal 90, complementary angle. Okay, 90 degrees. Look down here for supplementary angles, and this S can turn into an 8. Okay? That helps me remember 180 degrees. May not help you out, but that's kind of one of the things that's helped me. Okay, so moving along, now we're going to be talking about classifying angles. So the directions here says classify each pair of angles using all names that apply. So whenever you're looking at this angle, I can see that, first of all, I notice this little box which tells me that it's a right angle. What do we remember about right angles? How many degrees is that? Is 90. Okay, so if you need to look back up to the top, which one equals 90? Complementary. So you're just going to write complementary on there. Okay, now there's one more. Okay, so we've got two angles that add together to equal 90, which are complementary. Remember the wall that separates that we were talking about? So this side here that separates the two, and what that was called? Adjacent. Okay, so moving on to number 2. Whenever you're looking at this one, what do you notice? This side right here, or the wall, if you want to kind of look at it that way, that's separating the two, that's going to be adjacent. Okay, so on this one, now if you need to, go ahead and pause and try to work it on your own, okay? And then just push play and I'll be here whenever you get done. Okay, so you've got two angles that are intersecting, okay? Whenever you're looking at an angle, remember if you have a straight line, what is that supposed to equal? 180. So we know that they're going to be supplementary because we've got two straight lines here, right? So we're going to put supplementary. And then also it's adjacent, okay? Because we have, it depends on how you're looking at it. We have, if you're looking at this one here, we've got an angle here and an angle here. And so those are being separated by each other. In fact, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to highlight that. Okay. Ooh, I don't want that to be that strong. There we go. Okay, so we've got this angle here. And we've got this angle here. See that? Okay. And all of that belongs to this angle right there. So you see how they're joined together. And then we've got this one here in the middle, which is our adjacent. Okay, so we need to write down adjacent. And there's another one too, right here, but I was just going to show you one for an example. Okay, so going on to number 4. Again, go ahead and pause it so that you can try to figure it out and then come right back when you get done. On these when you have the angle 1 here and the angle 2 here, these are vertical. Okay, so those are vertical because the two angles that are across of each other are congruent. Okay, that's just the rule. Whenever you have intersecting lines like this, whenever they're opposite across from one another, they're going to be congruent. All right, so moving on to number 5. Go ahead again and push pause and see if you can determine what this would be. Okay, you've got two different angles, and I know that they're not side by side and you're not used to that, but whenever you add them together, what do you get? Okay, so go ahead and push pause. All right, so whenever we add these together, it's going to come out to 180. Okay, so you can go ahead and you can add it over here if you want. It's going to give you 10, 6, 7, 8, 180 degrees. Okay, so it's 180 degrees, and what is that whenever it's 180 degrees? Supplementary. Okay, now moving on to number 6. What do you think about these two? What could we say could be possible for the angle relationship here? Okay, so let's add them together and see. We've got 67, 23. 7, 8, 9, 10. Carry the 1, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they equal 90. So I just got to figure out which angle relationship that is. Complementary. Remember that C right there? So go ahead and put complementary. All right. So that's the first page. If you have time to move on to the second, then go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the second page. If you need to wrap it up, not sure how much time you've got in class, go ahead and do that, but I'm going to move on to the next one. All right, so now we are moving on into angle relationships, and this time we're going to be looking at this as a whole. Okay, we're going to be this is the whole of it, but we're going to be taking it apart and looking and seeing what we can find from it. So number 7 is telling us angle 2 and angle 3. All right, so, and I'm going to highlight this as I go because I don't want this to confuse you. Okay, I'm going to highlight angle 2. Okay, and then it's telling us and angle 3. Okay, so I'm going to highlight that as well. Okay, so we've got, let me do that a little better. There we go. So we've got angle 2 and angle 3. Well, when we add those together, what is that going to give us? Do you see the box there in the corner? Okay, it's going to give us a complementary because it's going to equal 90 degrees. It's going to be right angle. All right, what else? Is complementary it? Are we done? No, because we've got 2 here, and we had to add them together. And remember, they have this side here that separates them, kind of like that wall that we talked about. So that's also going to be adjacent. All right. So now let's go on to number 8. I'm going to change my highlighter. Okay, so we are looking at angle 3. Actually, I think I'm going to erase. I am going to erase what I did here because I don't want it to confuse you. Okay, let's try that now. All right. So we're looking at angle 3 and angle 4. So angle 3 here, and then also angle 4. Notice what I just did, kind of try to give you a hint there. Okay, so what there's 2 of them. I'll just kind of give you a hint. What are the 2 that you can find from this one? If you need to push pause so you can try to figure it out, okay? I don't want to just give you the answers. I want you to work with me here because you're going to be doing some of these on your own. Okay, so the first thing that I've noticed when I try to give you all a little hint was I drew this line straight across to try to let you know that that's 180 degrees. All right, so it's going to be supplementary. And then, do we have a side? Is there a side that we need to include on that? Yes, right here, right? So that would also make it adjacent. Okay, I'm going to move this down just a little bit. Oop, I don't want to make it too much where you can't see. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at angle 1 and angle 2. All right, again, I'm going to go ahead and erase this right here so that I'm not confusing you. But I'm going to change my highlighter. Change that to that. There we go. Okay, so angle 1 is right here. Oh, I want to change that to a highlighter. There. Okay, so angle 1. And then also angle 2. Okay, which is right here. So we've got angle 1 and angle 2. What do we have here? I mean, I'm looking at it, and we don't have a we don't have a 90 degrees. Okay, I mean, as far as all of it together, it's going to be larger than 90 degrees if we added 1 and 2 together, and it's not going to be quite 180 because it's not a straight line, so it's not complementary or supplementary. So the only thing that I can see here is that it does have a side that is joining the 2. Okay, so it is an adjacent, and that is it. Okay, now let's go on to number 10. So now we're going to be looking at angle number 3 and angle 5. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna erase all of this so that it doesn't interfere with what we're trying to do here. Now, if you need to highlight as you go ahead and do that. Okay, I don't want you to feel like you can't highlight on yours. I'm just trying to clean it up so that you can see it better. All right, so let's look at. We're going to be looking at angle 3, which is this right here, and angle 5, which is this right here. Okay, so I'm looking at these and I don't see an adjacent. Okay, there's not a side that's, we've got the vertex here, that's how they're, they're combined right there by the vertex. But I don't see a side in order to say, that it's separating them, because we've got another side here that's not included. So we can't say that it's adjacent. What can we say? about this. Okay, well, let's look. We have angle 3 is here, and then angle 5 is right here. Well, they're right across from each other. What was that rule if they're right across from each other, or what is that term called? Vertical. Okay, so we have vertical. Okay, good. Now, moving on to number 11. Again, I'm going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit. I don't want to mess you guys up. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at angle 4 and angle 5. I'm going to go ahead and highlight those. So I've got angle 4 right here, and then we have angle 5. All right, right off the bat, I could see right there that that is an adjacent. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down because that was the first thing that stuck out to me. Okay, what else? I'm going to follow this all the way across, and what is that? Straight line. And what was that called? Supplementary. Okay. Now, number 12. Let me go ahead and erase this again. Oh, I need to get my highlighter back out. Okay, so we're looking at angle 1 and angle 5. So angle 1 is right here. And then 5 is right here. Okay? So again, right off the bat, I noticed that we have a side that we're sharing here that's separating. So we have an adjacent. Is there anything else that you can see? Nope, nothing else. And that's it. We're done with that one. Okay? Now we're going to move on down to finding angle measures. Okay? So the direction says, find each missing angle measure. All right. This is where what we just got finished learning about vertical, adjacent, supplementary, complementary, all of those are going to come into play so that we can look at this and determine from that, once we can figure out what type of angle relationship we're looking at, we can figure out what the missing piece is. So remember the rule. I can see that these are across from one another, so I'm looking at vertical angles, and the rule for vertical angles says that they are congruent, remember? So if this is 107 degrees, what is this one going to be? 107. Okay? And as we move on forward, you'll be able to actually tell what this angle is as well. Okay, but I'm not gonna mess you up right now with it, so let's just do that. Okay, we have one coming up. So moving on to 14. What do you notice when you look at these two angles together? Okay, that makes this large angle here. The box says 90 degrees, right? 90-degree angle, complementary. Okay, so we know it's a complementary angle, so we know that they're going to have to come together to equal 90 degrees. So one thing that you can do is, some people would just look at that and go, oh, all I got to do is go 90 minus 71. So I'm going to go ahead and just write it out just like it's an algebra problem. We're going to be getting into those anyway. So, okay, so remember how we do that. We're going to subtract 71, boom, move down to x equals 19. Okay, so we got 19 degrees is what's missing right there. All right, I'm going to move down just a little bit. So let's look at number 15. Number 15, this right here is a straight line, so I know we're looking at a supplementary angle, which is going to be equal to 180 degrees. Same thing. All right, some people may just go, okay, Miss Brawley, I need to go 180 minus 142, and I'm done. So I'm going to go ahead and do it algebraically. You don't have to do it this way. I'm just going to show you this way because we will be working on some soon where you're going to have to find, you'll have to solve for x, okay? So we're going to subtract 142, subtract 142. Bring down these canceled out, bring down my x, and x equals 38. Okay, you can use a calculator. It's totally fine. I'm okay with that. You know that. All right. Oop, it wasn't a very good box, but you get what I'm saying. Okay. So 16. Let's look and see what we got here. Okay. This has a lot going on. We're going to have to figure out what x is, what y, and z. Whenever you come across something like this, don't look at it and start freaking out. Don't go, oh my goodness, there's too many things. How am I going to find out 3 things? You can. First thing, look, because we've got vertical angles here. We know that this is 54. So what is y going to be? 54. Okay, we're done with that. And all we have to do is figure out what these two are. This is not going to be difficult either because let's go ahead. I'm going to highlight. We've got a straight angle right here. And we know that these two angles from here to here need to equal what? 180, right? And we know that this piece is 54, so we just have to figure out the difference of this right here. All right? So you could just write it this way. You could say 54 plus x equals 180. All right? And then we would have to subtract 54, subtract 54. These would cancel out, bring down my x. And so what is x going to be? 126. Okay? So x is 126. Actually, that should have been z. I'm going to apologize right now. Hold on, let me go back. I hope I didn't mess you up when I said that. It's okay. So I'm going to put z. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, z is 126 degrees. Okay, well, if this is 126 degrees, what is this one? Because they're vertical. It's going to be 126 as well. All right, I apologize for messing you up with the x right there. Just either way, it really is okay. I just didn't want to mess you up by putting the x when I had been talking about this part over here. Okay, so that's how you can work them when they're vertical like that. Sometimes there's a lot going on. Okay, so now let's go on to number 17. And number 17 says, given the measurement of RST equals 112 degrees. So it's telling us that from here, here, and here, and I'm going to highlight that, RST is equal to 112. All right? And it's given us a piece. It's saying 87. Okay? This right here, with this side that we're dealing with right here, which is the adjacent, we've got 87. So you've got to figure out the missing piece. All right? So you could do that one of two ways. I'm going to show it to you algebraically. Some of you might just go, okay, it's 112 minus 87, and I'm going to have it just like that. I'm fine with that. Okay, however it is easier for you to figure out. But I'm going to show it to you algebraically because I want you to be familiar with that because that's what we're going to be getting into next. All right. So when you're doing that algebraically, you can say 87 plus x, because that's what we don't know, equals 112. All right. So then remember, we have to move it to the other side. So we're going to subtract 87, subtract 87. So these cancel out. I'm going to bring down my x. And then x equals 25 degrees. Oop. Okay. So the missing piece is 25 degrees. Good. Now we're going to go over here to number 18. we've got one piece missing. Okay, right off the bat, what do you see? What kind of angle are we looking at? We are looking at a straight angle. Now, remember, like over here, it told you how much they are all together. Well, the reason they did that was because RST, the angle RST, is neither complementary or supplementary. So it had to tell us something, or we wouldn't have had enough information to be able to solve it. Okay, outside of getting a protractor. Okay, but the idea is to try to figure this out. So here, it doesn't give us anything because they want us to look at it and say, oh, okay, this is 180 degrees. So it needs to be, all of it together is going to be 180. All right, so we know that all of it together is going to be 180 degrees. This piece here is 51. This piece, or I say piece, this angle here is 51 degrees, and this angle here is 18 degrees. Okay, so let's just do this algebraically. Say 51 plus 18 plus x equals 180 degrees. All right. Now you're going to be going 69 because I'm adding 51 and 18. Okay, that gives you 69. 69 plus x equals 180 degrees. All right. Now, this is where you're going to be subtracting 69 because we have to move it from over here to the other side of the equal sign. So subtract 69. These cancel out. Bring down your x. And x equals 111. Is that right? Yep. 111. So, here's your answer. We found it, 111 degrees. All right? Now, let's go to number 19. Again, this one has a lot of stuff going on. So, don't look at it and freak out on me, okay? It's going to be all right. Let's solve for, okay, let's just take it a piece at a time. This is 127 degrees, all right? Now, if we looked at it vertically, I'm going to change my highlighter here. Okay, let's look at the piece that it's telling us. It's telling us that this angle right here is 127. All right, so if you look at the vertical, that would be from here to here. Okay, so this all together is going to give you 127 degrees. But we have an adjacent right here. Okay, we have a side going through which makes it adjacent, or it bisects it. So we have two angles that we're having to figure out. But this is going to be 127 degrees when we add them all together. Now, we do have another piece of it, because remember that whenever you see this little box here, what is that telling you? That you have a right angle and it's equal to 90 degrees. So we know that that is going to be 90 degrees. All right? Now all we have to do is figure out what this piece is. Okay? So over here gives you this little space. So I'm going to use it over here. I'm going to subtract. I'm going to go 127 minus 90. And then that gives me 7. It's going to be 37. Okay? Is that right? Yes. So now I know that Z is 37 degrees. All right, great. So now we need to find X and Y. Well, I know that they're going to be the same because they're vertical. Okay? So how we find that one is we need to go and, let me go and get rid of all this highlighter stuff. If I can do it without erasing everything I've done. Let's see. I don't want to mess that up right there. Okay. Now, okay, so let's look at, I'm going to take it, something that I can work with. I'm going to draw a straight line here because I know that that is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, so I know that from here all the way to here is going to give me 180. Okay, everything in there, actually, let me not do that. I don't want to confuse you on that one. There we go. I'm going to put it out here. All of that together in that little arc is going to be 180 degrees. So how we figure out what the missing piece is you're just going to subtract, okay? Or you could just say x plus 127 equals 180, and then you would just subtract the 127. 127. Why did I do that? Okay. Subtract 127, and you guys forgive me, I'm still learning this little machine, this little Wacom thing. All right, bring down my x, and it is equal to 53. Is that right? Yep. Okay. So x is equal to 53. So we got 53 degrees. And remember, we talked about the vertical angles. They are congruent. So this is going to be 53 as well. 53 degrees. We're done. Okay? So sometimes you can look at this and it'll really freak you out. But sometimes if you take a sticky note and you just cover it, like if on this, since I was working this area right here, maybe put a sticky note across this so that you're not seeing all this busyness over here, okay? And then you kind of are just secluded to this one area, so your mind is not kind of going all over the place wondering what to do with it, okay? Now let's go on to number 20, okay? Let's look and see what we can find here. I'm going to, right off the bat, I'm seeing a 90-degree angle, which is a right angle, and which is complementary, and I know that's going to be equal to 90, right? So I know that I've got that right there. That's what I'm going to work on first, because I don't know why it just dug out to me. All right, so now that I have that, I can work this problem, okay? Now that I know it's going to be 90 degrees, all of it, from here to here, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to subtract 34. I didn't do this one algebraically, you guys. Okay, so that's going to give me, let's see, borrow the 8, make that a 10. Okay, that's going to give me 6 and 5. So I got 56 degrees. And then always go back and check your work, put it in the calculator, okay, 56 plus 34. Make sure that you come back out to 90 so that you're not, missing your calculation, okay? So now that I've got that, it's time to move on to something else, okay? What else do you notice? All right? This is for you, so I want you, if you can, push pause and figure it out, do it, and then come back and see if you can, if you were right, because you might notice stuff that I'm not. Like my eyes went straight to this because it was 90 degrees. Maybe your eyes went straight to, I wonder if I could find anything that's vertical. Hey, 34, and this one's Y is vertical, so they're going to be the same thing. Okay, your mind might go to something totally different than mine, or you might notice something totally different. So I know that those are vertical, so that one gives me 34 degrees. Okay, I'm going to erase that highlighting that I did with this yellow here so that I can work something else. Okay, then I'm going to go back to my highlighter. Okay, so I am going to, well, you can go about this two different ways. I think I want to do this part first. I've this straight line right here. That's another thing that I always go try to find is a straight line, because I know that's equal to 180 degrees. So where I highlighted right now, and if you want to use a sticky note, maybe put that sticky note over all of this so that you can't see it, okay? Because what I'm going to be looking at is all of this right here, okay? Because I know that all of that together is going to equal what? 180 degrees, okay? So right here I have 56 and 34. Okay, and remember we just did the calculations on that. That's going to equal 90 degrees. So I know that this is 90 degrees. All right? I'm going to move over here and do some of my math here. So I've got 180 that it needs to equal all together, and I'm going to subtract 90. And that's after I added these two together. Now, if you want to put it in the calculator and go 180 minus 56 minus 34, that's okay too. So anyway, but this is how I'm going to do it. So it was 0 and 0, and then 0, 18, and that's going to give me 90. Okay, well, I kind of already knew that when I looked at it, but always check and make sure, because it didn't give us the box, okay? Had it given me the box, I would have already known, but it didn't, so we need to make sure, because what if it was like 89, or something just very small that would have caused our calculations to be off if we would have just looked at it with our eyes, okay? Now, we're done with that, so let's move on to the next one. And actually, I think I need to erase it. I want to try to clean it up for you so it's not, you're not looking at so much at one time. Okay, now if you're using the sticky note, get ready to move it. Okay, so I'm still looking at this line, okay, but now I'm going to be calculating from here all the way around to this area. Because I know the straight line is going to be supplementary, which equals what? 180 degrees. That's right. Okay. I'm running out of room, and it's going to look kind of crazy. So I'm going to erase that. I hope you got it written down. If not, push pause, because I'm erasing. Okay. All right. Hey, isn't there an actor that says that? I think so. I can't remember. Oh, Matthew McConaughey or something says, all right. Okay. Now I'm just going to take 180 and subtract 34. Kind of got over the whole algebraic thing, didn't I? Well, sorry. It's just faster this way, and I feel like y'all are getting tired of me. Okay. So from here, we're just going to subtract. It's going to be 7. It's going to be 10. So 10 minus 4 is 6. And then I've got 5. And 156 degrees. Right? No, wait. I'm sorry, that's not a 5. Hello, Miss Brawley, you are not very good at subtracting today. That is a 4. My bad. Okay, 146. That's better. So Z is 146 degrees. All right, again, go ahead and add it together, okay? Add 34 and 146, make sure it comes out to 180, all right? What else do you notice about this? Come on, I hope somebody's noticed it. What is the entire thing together, which, if you were a better artist than me, that would be a full circle, okay? So that is 180 plus 180. It gives you 360 degrees, which is a full circle. Okay, notice that? Did you notice that when you have a straight line, that's basically what it's doing, is cutting through that circle in half, which is half of a circle. Get it? Half of a circle, half of 360 is 180. Okay, guess what else? Half of 180 is your 90-degree angle, complementary. Okay, just a little bit of information there for you. Okay. So, last thing, let's go through the word problems, because I know how much y'all love word problems. Okay. If angle G and angle H are supplementary, there's that word. If they're supplementary angles and angle H equals 51 degrees, find the measurement of angle G. If it is hard for you to figure out word problems, try to draw it, okay? Because that's what I'm about to do. I know, okay, it's saying it's a supplementary angle. That's not going to be that hard because all I got to do is draw. Well, maybe it is hard. Okay, look. We're going to pretend that this is a straight line, okay? We're just going to, let's probably draw a straight supplementary line. Okay, and we've got angle H is 51 degrees. Now, I don't have a protractor, so I'm really just kind of like acting like I know what I'm doing here. Okay. So let me just put my little arrows there. And this one is going to be, okay, this one is H, and it's 51 degrees. Okay, so now we just got to find the missing piece, because we already know from what I just said is that all of this is going to be equal to 180, right? Great. Okay, so all we got to do is subtract from 180 degrees, okay, because we said all of this is going to be 180. So we've got 180 minus 51. Okay, so I got to borrow 1 from there, bring it here. 10 minus 1 is 9. 5 minus 7 is 3. 130, no. Well, I don't know why I'm having such a hard time here tonight. Like, I can't even subtract. Like, obviously I need to go to bed or something. I don't know. It's 2. Oh, boy. Okay, 129 degrees. So, the missing angle, and actually what you could do, let's do this one algebraically. X plus 51 equals 180, and then you're going to subtract 51. Subtract 51. I'm running out of room, so forgive me for putting it over here. X equals, and this is where you put 129. So what you would put is the measurement, oops, and we needed to put that over here, G. Okay, so the measurement of angle G equals 129 degrees. Okay, there you go. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to erase this. We've only got 2 more to work, you guys, and then I'm going to let you go. You're like, yay. Miss Bradley's almost done. Okay. Now, this one says if angle 1 and angle 2 are vertical angles, vertical, what does that mean? They are across from one another, okay? So, angle 1 and angle 2 are vertical angles. And the measurement of angle 1 is 128 degrees. Find the measure of angle 2. Okay, that's easy. What do we need to do? We need to write down 128 degrees because when they are vertical, they are congruent. I got my C words confused. All right, so the measure of angle 2 is 128 degrees. Bam, we're done. I wish they were all just like that. That would just make life really easy, wouldn't it? Okay. Now, I'm going to erase again because I'm done with that one. Get my pen back out. Okay. This one says, if angle J and angle K are complementary angles, and the measurement of angle K is equal to 73 degrees, find the measure of angle J. Complementary angle. How much is that supposed to be? Remember the little 9? Okay. So I'm going to make it. See why we put the little box there? Because that does not really look like 90 degrees, does it? Okay. So here's my complementary angle, which is, well, this is my right angle, my 90 degree angle. Okay. Angle J is equal to 73 degrees. So it's going to be bigger than the other one. I'm going to do my best here to make it that way. I think that will help, huh? Okay. So this one is K, and it is equal to 73 degrees. So we need to find J. All right. There we have it. Now, for this one, I'm going to try to do it algebraically for you, okay? So what you can do is what we need to find is J, okay? JK, get it? Just kidding. Okay, J plus 73 equals 90, okay? Subtract 73 because we're moving it, getting rid of it to move it over here. Okay, those cancel out. Bring down your J, because that's what we're trying to find, equals 17. And I just started using J because I thought that makes sense. Why did we use the X up here? Why did we do that, Miss Brawley? This could have been a G, and it would have probably made life a lot easier. But hey, we just made it complicated for nothing. G is what we were trying to find. Okay. So, J equals 17 degrees. Remember, go back and add, make sure it equals to 90. All right, and we are done. I actually have one more sheet, but I'm tired of talking. So I'm going to wait and hold off on that and do another recording for you guys to finish this up later, okay? Make sure you read over this, all of this wonderful information. Make sure that you know what we're doing, so that you'll know how to work these problems and be able to tell if they're complementary, supplementary, all of that good stuff, okay? This one too. Remember, we just got finished with this one here. All right. I hope this helped you guys. Let me know what you think. Talk to you later. Bye.